Wakey, wakey. Peekaboo.
How did you get down there?
I'm Peter. It's nice to meet you.
When Timmy went missing, what do you remember?
He's close to Neverland, and he must act now to take the children with him.
It's time to collect.
Oi, freak! You gonna pay for that?
I'm Peter. Do you know what I have?
Don't worry about Michael. I'm gonna take him to Neverland.
So if you need a hand...
Wow.
Who wants to come to Neverland with me? It's my duty to send the kids to Neverland and protect them from this world.
In a place where you can be a little boy for the rest of your existence.
Get her to me!
Marco.
Hello.
Marco. Hello.
And that was the trailer for the latest Twisted Childhood Universe movie, Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare. As you guys know, I am before the first movie even was started filming. I was Scott Dreffy. I was his stalker, trying to get interviews. I was so excited, and here we have the latest star, Peter Pan himself, Martin Portlock. How are you doing today?
Hey, William, how you doing, buddy? I'm good, man. I'm good. I've got to fly out to LA in about 3 or 4 days and go and see this movie.
Yes, I will be. I wish I could be there in Burbank. I will be here in Vegas. I will be at the Vegas premiere here, just hosting my own little thing here. Like I said, I've been a huge fan of these movies since I heard the concept. Now you are a Peter Pan. Now, have you read the original book?
Yes. In fact, my first ever stage gig was Captain James Hook. So which is a bit of a flip, isn't it? Now I've seen the best of both worlds now.
Now, having read the original literature, Peter Pan in those books isn't, let's say, the nicest person.
No.
Now, Neverland Nightmare is going to be an extreme, but do you feel that the portrayal here that you're about to do or have done is closer to the literature than the cartoonish versions, obviously, that we've gotten?
That's a really good question. I think it's important to remember that Peter Pan's story is inherently dark. We're talking about a kid that flies to other kids' windows and takes them off in the night to another place where they commit murder and killing pirates, and they want to never grow up and live without consequence. And to me, that scares the hell out of me. And I wouldn't say that this particular Peter Pan character reflects those things. But I think what Scott's done is utilize the story of Peter Pan and those characters and generated what he and what others would have perceived a real Peter Pan to have been. And we're not just talking about a guy that decides to come around with a feather in his hat and fly around taking children. We're talking about somebody who truly believes that he's this guy that never wants to grow up. He believes that he's a kid. He wants to get to Neverland. He wants to be a kid forever, and he'll do anything to get there. And what he's doing, he truly believes that he's helping other children. And I think that when you have a character that truly believes what they're doing is right, when it's absolutely apparent that it's incredibly wrong, I think they're the most dangerous people in the world.
What influenced your portrayal of this character? What kind of things did you use to put yourself to make yourself Peter Pan? Because I see some influences that when I'm watching, because I'm a horror fan. I mean,
Go on then. You tell me what you think the influences are.
I see, believe it or not, and I know I'm going to get a lot of kickback. I see some Leatherface there.
Right.
I see a little bit of Michael Myers there. The actual appearance itself, a lot of it would go from like when I used to watch those stuff as a kid of the serial killers. I see a lot of Freddy Krueger.
Right. Okay. This is interesting because I've had other people say this to me. When in actual fact, when I was preparing for this role, I didn't want to look at other influences. I didn't want to look at other horror movies. I think Peter Pan was such a deep character from the way he's been written and the psychological issues that this character has. I thought if I start drawing on things that other people have done, then I'm going to ruin this character. So I played this character true to how this character would have been in the given moment. I think that opening scene in the trailer, you've got me in a cellar reaching out to this little kid called James. And, how would a grown man be in that situation? Well, he'd probably put on a kid's voice. It might not be a very good kid's voice if he was a grown man. He just wants to be friendly and mess around with him. And you can see the reality in this guy's eyes of what he's trying to achieve. And the kid can't see it. But the audience can. And that's what I really wanted to do. And a lot of people have said, oh my God, that's very Pennywise. When in fact, in many respects, the kind of scene is very similar to the clown underneath the street, trying to entice Georgie into where that hole is. But for me, it was more about just keeping in that kind of psychological moment for that particular character in that time.
Okay. Now, I grade all my horror movies on a scale of 3Ds. Death, destruction, and dismemberment. So on I gotta have them. I gotta have them in order for it to pass grade. On a scale of 1 to 10, where does Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare fall into that scale? How much death? How much destruction? How much dismemberment?
Okay. Start with death. I would say probably about a 7. Destruction. I think if you're talking about self-destruction or your psychological destruction, I would put it about 6. What was the other one? What was the other D?
Dismemberment. How many limbs get ripped off?
Let's give dismemberment an 8.5, shall we?
All right, cool. So we're averaging about a 7 or 8. So all right, because I've grown comfortable with these movies being, like I said, Pooh, Blood and Honey. Listen, and by the way, guys, the Sci-Fi Center and William does not condone the harming of real people. So don't be messaging me saying, "Oh, you're an awful person." But in Pooh, Blood and Honey, the girl in the wood chipper scene, that's art for me. That is how are you carrying these out? How do I feel when these deaths happen? It's like an Olympic gymnast routine. So that's what I mean. So these movies have now I noticed in the trailer there's a more so than the other Twisted Childhood movies. There's a lot of jump scares. It appears in these this one in their reviews.
Yeah. So actually, I'll tell you that Peter Pan is the way the film has been shot is very different. I mean, if you liked Blood and Honey 2, for example, it was a hell of a markup from Blood and Honey 1.
Yes.
But it was very quick. There was a lot of deaths. It was all really, really happening very, very quickly, and there was these massive characters. Peter Pan is very different. Peter Pan acts more psychological. It works on more the psychological thriller element, and there probably wouldn't be as many deaths in Peter Pan as there was in Pooh. But they hit home really hard when they happen, just because of the situation that they're in. So I think if you're up for a psychological ride, then Peter Pan is the film for you. And that's what I love about Scott and I love about Reese is the movies that they're creating now with the TCU are all incredibly different. we've just recently wrapped on Pinocchio, because I was blessed enough to do a bit of work on Pinocchio. Not that Peter Pan's in Pinocchio, by the way. However, you know, that film is incredibly different than Peter Pan is. So when they come to do this final movie that they're doing, this the Pooniverse, the Monsters Assemble thing, we know that Peter Pan's back. We know that the other characters from the other movies are back, and I'm going to be very interested to see how Scott and Reese incorporate those different styles of filmmaking into this one big movie.
Yeah, because Peter Pan has the person who was working on Chucky. When we got a chance to when we saw
Todd
the
Masters.
Yep, we got the chance to, and they showed us the things that they were showing us. They showed us Bambi flipping over a car, and I'm like, I mean, I was in tears because, like I said, I am a comic book Avenger. I'm into all that stuff, but I'm into horror.
Man.
That's I'm like horror.
Oh man, I had such a fanboy moment. You know, Todd Masters watching me doing the animatronics on this puppet, and he comes up to me and he goes, you know, have you done this before? And I said, no, man, never done it. Anyway, I got a message from Scott later saying, Todd really likes your work and we want to keep you on for the rest of the shoot from this. And he gave me this, and I had a little bit of a cry. I had a little bit of a cry secretly in the back room. Look, he gave me a T-shirt, and he got all of his team to sign it.
Oh man, you got to get that framed.
That is going to be framed, boy. That is going to be framed.
That is nice. Now, while I was doing some research, I noticed you were on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes,
that was really cool, and you're standing in front of the legendary Simon Cowell. How that there was it's always nerve-wracking to watch people get up in front of those guys, because you're like, man, is this guy going to destroy you? Is he going to be nice about it? But how was that experience?
I was nervous as hell, man. Like right up until just before I walked out onto stage, I was so nervous. I had magic that I had to do. I had a story to tell. I had a character to kind of deliver, and I had to do it all, you know, live on national television, not just in front of these famous judges, but in front of the theatre that were there, which is about 2,000-3,000 people, and live on national television, all on my own. So that was an eye opener for sure. But that show really does give great opportunities to individuals that have, you know, a talent to show. And although I knew that witch character was never going to win, right? It wasn't going to win, because I think the majority of people at home watching wouldn't necessarily have liked it. But the amount of response I got back from that was so positive. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it.
That's always a good start. Like I said, I saw that and I'm like, wow, because I just never know, because he's so harsh sometimes, and it's like, you know.
Well, I chased Amanda Holden off the set with a rap. That was good. That wasn't scripted either. That was real. That was real. And then I came back to do The Ultimate Magician the Christmas after, and then I chased her off the stage with a snake. If you've seen that one.
Okay, so next time they see you, they're gonna expect a crocodile or something. So they might not let you in the building. Just a warning. Now, for the audiences, just if you could, without obviously giving spoilers, just give me a brief synopsis of what Peter Pan Neverland's Nightmare is about.
Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is the story of a man who truly believes what he's doing is right, and will try to achieve his goals no matter what the cost. You can be prepared for a thrilling ride of devastating deaths, and God, that's all flashing back to me now. I can't even get the words out. It's such a psychological thriller. Like this guy puts people through so much pain and anguish, and you know, any kind of child protection laws just seem to go out of the window with this movie.
Good old days.
Yeah, if you are a parent, I'm a father of three. I am actually a father of three, and if you are a parent and you went to see this movie, I think you would be absolutely on the edge of your seat. Absolutely on the edge of your seat.
Now, judging from just the trailers, and I've seen the two previous movies, those movies were fun. There was, the story evolves and everything, especially with Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. It sounds like this is more, it's a horror movie, But it sounds like there's a relatable story here that I think is going to grab people.
Yeah, there is
more than the
There
previous
is.
two. So
I think the trailer comes across very slasher. Personally, I think it comes across very slasher movie, but it goes a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than that. Excuse the pun. This will have you hooked. Excuse the pun.
I have. There you go. And Hook is in this. So for those of you who've watched the Robin Williams film, things like that, this is going to be a little bit different version of Hook. Not going to be Dustin Hoffman, but on the makeup process, you go through several stages. How long did that take to get into all that?
So I would wake up from my hotel room, go to set, spend 2 hours going through makeup. There was a day where I had to go through 4 or 5 hours of makeup due to other things. No spoilers, other things. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was hard, but the team were amazing. Like the prosthetics team were lovely. In fact, they were actually the team that did the prosthetics on the Britain's Got Talent thing as well.
Oh, okay.
And they've done Harry Potter and Sleepy Hollow and all that kind of stuff. So they're absolutely amazing team. The prosthetics themselves were actually very comfortable. Funnily enough, like all this down here was quite comfortable, and I used that in the character as well because I could feel it. I could feel it on my face. I could feel the disfigurement. So it kind of helped me, get into that.
You're the first person that said that it was comfortable. That's like everybody else is like, oh my goodness. The first one was hard, and then after that it got a little bit easier. But yeah, I am seriously I'm looking forward to all these movies. Like I said, I am for my viewers, I'm biased. I'm biased. If you go back for 3 years, I am biased for these. These are fun. I come from, I grew up watching trauma movies and things like that, and just having fun when it comes to horror. I kick a lot of heat for covering these because, like, how could you ruin my childhood? I'm like, and like I said,
man, no. I think this is something that really, really bugs me sometimes. Is people say that it's ruined their childhood. Like, firstly, don't watch the movie if that's what you think.
Exactly.
Secondly, you name me a story that's never been told, and you won't be able to. Like, they've just created Nosferatu. How many times has that story been told? They're just telling it differently, and that's all these guys are doing. They're taking original texts and transforming it into a different version of the story, and I think it's creative. I think it's bold and daring, and I think it's good cinema.
I am 100% with you. I'm a big defender and champion of these movies. Martin Portlock, good luck. Thank you. Congratulations.
One more thing. Thank you for the congratulations. I got somebody who wants to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare in theaters next week, beginning 13th, 14th, and 15th. Limited engagement. Get your tickets now. The links and everything will be in the descriptions. If you want to get a hold and look at the rest of Martin's career, his IMDb link will be in there. Like I said, if you have not seen these movies yet, and this is your first one, you're in for a treat. And while you're at it, go see the other two that are out there. So thank you for your time, Martin, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Will. It's been a pleasure, man.